Welcome back to my channel, Economics Window by Garima Singh. I am here to start your chapter number 2, which is all about people as resource. In this chapter, we'll understand why population of a country or the people of a nation is considered as an important resource. Okay, now moving on to the chapter, let's see what the population. Population क्या है? The people living in an area or the country are considered as a resource where in the economy. What is an economy? The area where the production consumption of goods and services are happening. Apart from that, supply of money is also there. Okay, so population में कौन आएगी? जनता, आम जनता, किसी भी नेशन की, किसी भी देश की, उस जनता को हम एक इम्पॉर्टेंट या एक बहुत ज़रूरी संसाधन क्यों मानते हैं हमारी कंट्री में, ओके, या हमारी इकोनॉमी में. दिस इज द क्वेश्चन दैट विल बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग इन दिस वीडियो. ओके, नाउ there are new two terms used here. Okay, when I say population in the economy is an asset. Asset and liabilities are the two terms which will be again and again used in economics. So better make this term clear in your head right here, right now. Okay, so coming to the asset. Population को हम asset बोलेंगे because asset क्या होता है? A useful or a valuable thing or a person. Okay, कोई भी बहुत ज़रूरी या काम की चीज़ या कोई काम का इंसान, उसको हम बोलेंगे एसेट. ओके, एंड लाइबिलिटी क्या होती है? लाइबिलिटी इज अ थिंग फॉर विच समवन इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल. भाई कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ जिसके लिए किसी को जिम्मेवारी उठानी पड़े. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई से पॉपुलेशन इज एन एसेट. यस, पॉपुलेशन एसेट क्यों है? बिकॉज इट विल कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट इन द इकोनॉमी. Okay, it will form the human capital here and help in the production process. Okay, therefore population is a valuable or a useful thing for us in the economy. Therefore population is called asset, whereas it is not called liability. Liability is what? A thing for which somebody has to be responsible. Okay, for example, if I go and take or borrow some money from somebody, so that money for me will be a liability. Because after some time I have to repay back the money with the interest. Okay, तो मेरे ऊपर एक कर्जा है उस चीज का और मुझे उसको repay करना है. Okay, therefore that will constitute the concept of liability. Okay, so I hope both the concept of asset and liability is clear to you all. That population in the economy is an asset to us, not a liability. Now, talking about the population, why it is known as the asset for us? It is because population will lead to the human capital. What is human capital? In the very first chapter I have explained these terms. You guys need to explain this term in the comment section using the hashtag economics window by Garima Singh. Give me the definition of human capital. Okay, population है, it will lead to human capital. मतलब knowledge, skill वगैरह यूज करके हम अपनी कहाँ ह्यूमन में, पॉपुलेशन में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. किस चीज़ के अंदर पॉपुलेशन में हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं? उनको एजुकेट करते हैं, उनको ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, मेडिकल केयर, हेल्थ अच्छी रहे, सो दैट द पॉपुलेशन इज हेल्दी. ओके, पीपल आर हियर हेल्दी. देयरफॉर हम पॉपुलेशन को ह्यूमन कैपिटल के अंदर तब चेंज करते हैं. सो फॉर चेंजिंग द पॉपुलेशन टू ह्यूमन कैपिटल वी नीड टू फर्स्ट इन्वेस्ट इन द पॉपुलेशन in the areas like education, training, medical care. Okay, therefore what is human capital? Human capital, it is the stock of skill and knowledge embodied in them. Who is this them here? The population. So human capital क्या है? A stock of, बहुत ज़्यादा एक क्या कहते हैं, स्टॉक है स्किल और नॉलेज का. किधर अवेलेबल है? within the people. Okay, so when people will start using their skill and knowledge, that will form the human capital out of the population thing. Okay, so what we get to learn here is, like other resources in the nature or in our economy, similarly population is also considered as a human resource. Okay, so I hope this point is clear. Now let's get into the positive aspect of large population and negative aspect of large population. Okay, talking about the positive aspect with this thing is mostly avoided or neglected by the people, thinking only the negative aspect of the large population. Okay, like we'll take the case of India. India is the second populous country in the world. Okay, so let's see how we can use this large population and take benefit out of it. Okay, so what are the positive part or the positive aspect of the large population is, if some nation has large population, therefore large population है, it will lead to more of the human capital formation. If we have more of human capital formation, we will add to the productive power of the country. Okay, leading to the physical capital formation. I hope you are also aware of the term physical capital formation. It includes raw material, money, and tools and machinery, etc. Okay, therefore physical capital formation will also happen because we have more of human capital. It means we have more of people with knowledge and skill, which will add to the productive power, making various tools and machines and buildings that will add up to the physical capital formation. Therefore, we understood investment in the human capital has always and will always bring higher returns. Okay, if we invest in human capital, अगर हम population में invest करें in the field of education, knowledge, expertise, health, etc. If we will invest in this area, we will have a healthier and a better human capital. Okay, leading to the higher return. Higher returns मतलब it will generate more of the income. Okay, investment is comparatively less, whereas the returns are comparatively really higher in this case. Okay, now moving on to the negative aspect of the large population. Negative aspect of the large population is we face problem in providing food, health facilities, education, etc., and which lead to the problem of poverty, which is a very big economic problem. Okay, so this was about the positive and the negative aspect. Now let me give you one example here. Okay, so let's take today's scenario, today's time only. जैसे कि हमारे यहाँ ग्लोबल पैंडेमिक आया. ओके, इफ द लार्ज पॉपुलेशन में हमने अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है इन टर्म्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, नॉलेज, एक्सपर्टीज, हेल्थ एक्सेट्रा, अगर अवेयरनेस है, लोग एजुकेटेड हैं, तो हमें इस पैंडेमिक को कंट्रोल करने के लिए ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं लगेगी. वेयर एज अगर हम इस अपने ह्यूमन कैपिटल में इन्वेस्टमेंट कम रखते हैं, ओके, तो विल फेस अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज first we have to make them aware because people are not educated. We have not invested in the human capital. Okay, they are not educated, they do not have knowledge, they do not have expertise of understanding what is this problem is. Therefore it will lead to various other problems. So it becomes necessary that if we have population, we should invest in human capital so that we end up in getting higher returns and making a better nation. Okay, now let's understand why example how human capital is important or how people as resource are important for an economy. Okay, let's take the example of Green Revolution. Green Revolution, as you all are aware, came in 1960s. Around 1965 it came. Okay, so earlier the crops were grown but without any expertise or knowledge. Okay, people got to know about the various use of chemical and fertilizers like HYV seeds, and they have to use chemical fertilizers, insecticides in order to protect their crops. Also, farm machineries were introduced to the farmer. Okay, so that the process of farming or taking out the crop become easy for them. Now, all of this was added with the modern technique and knowledge of the human. Okay, leading to the higher production in the field of agriculture, calling it therefore the Green Revolution. Okay, so the knowledge of the people and the human capital force has contributed very significantly in increasing the production, okay, of the crops and increasing the income of the farmers. Therefore, the human capital was the only one who came up with the idea of Green Revolution, therefore leading to this higher production in the agriculture sector. Okay, coming back to the Green Revolution, let me just quickly explain what was Green Revolution was. Okay, so before 1960s, Indian agriculture was basically a traditional form of agriculture where humans were used to practice all the activities in this sector. No machineries were there, no irrigation facilities were there, okay, no idea of how to protect the crops. बस ऐसे ही जैसे नॉर्मल खेती करते हैं वैसे ही करते हैं विदाउट एनी नॉलेज भाई सॉइल हमारा फर्टाइल है कि नहीं, क्या ये सॉइल इसको इस क्रॉप को सपोर्ट करेगा कि नहीं. लेकिन आफ्टर 1960s 1965 टू बी वेरी स्पेसिफिक 65 के अराउंड आया था ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन 65-66 में. इस टाइम में यहाँ इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया कि हमें क्रॉपिंग कैसे करनी चाहिए, कौन से मेथड यूज करनी चाहिए, कौन कौन से में सीड एंड केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स कैसे यूज करने ताकि ग्रोथ ऑफ प्लांट ज़्यादा हो, फार्म मशीन्स कैसे यूज करनी चाहिए, इंसेक्टिसाइड्स वगैरह हमारे क्रॉप्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए. देयरफॉर ऑल ऑफ दिस was included with the modern techniques plus the knowledge of the human. लोगों ने सोचा साइंटिफिकली इसका रीजन निकाला कि हाउ वी कैन increase the production of crops. Therefore they come up with the concept of green revolution. I hope this is clear. Okay, the next example is India's IT revolution. IT means services sector में कैसे growth हुई हमारी. Okay, now we'll be discussing about the service sector. When this IT revolution came in India, you guys need to comment down the year in the comment section. When was this IT revolution came in India? Okay, so number one question was this. So this IT revolution opened up the new possibilities of economic and social transformation. लोगों को जागरूकता मिली, awareness मिली कि how we can use this new IT sector or the service sector कि क्या कुछ पॉसिबिलिटी है, हम कैसे इकोनॉमिकली एंड सोशली यहाँ ग्रो कर सकते हैं. ओके, तो इस आईटी रेवोल्यूशन से वी गॉट टू नो द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ ह्यूमन कैपिटल, क्योंकि आईटी सेक्टर के अंदर मेजरली सर्विसेज हैं. सर्विसेज रिक्वायर द ह्यूमन ब्रेन, द एक्सपर्टीज, द नॉलेज, हाउ टू एनहांस द थिंग्स ओके ऑफ द अदर सेक्टर. जैसे कि मैंने एग्रीकल्चर में प्रोडक्शन की, ओके, अब मैंने आके उसको चेंज कर दिया इंडस्ट्री से. जैसे मैंने कॉटन प्रोड्यूस किया, ओके, कॉटन से मैंने शर्ट बनाई, शर्ट तो बना ली है, लेकिन अब मुझे उसके लिए सर्विसेज सेक्टर चाहिए ताकि मैं उस शर्ट को मार्केट के अंदर बेच सकूं, और अच्छी एक्सपर्टीज चाहिए कि कैसे मैं उसको बेच पाऊंगी, क्या स्किल हो जिससे लोग आके उसको खरीदें. देयरफॉर दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द आईटी सेक्टर, जहां सर्विसेज के बारे में काम किया जाता है यूजिंग द ह्यूमन ब्रेन. ओके, दिस आईटी रेवोल्यूशन ब्रिंग in the importance of the human capital, ki how important the human capital is. As a result, we got to know that position of human is much greater than those of the material, plant and machinery in the economy. Okay guys, so talking about the human capital, we got to know doctors, teachers, administrative workers, lawyers, etc. they also provide us with services. Okay, like if you are not healthy or feeling sick, you go and visit a doctor. So doctor provide you with the health services. Another example, teacher, like I am doing right now, I am providing you with the educational facilities. Okay, so all of the workers who are providing some or the other services in the economy will be considered as human capital. Okay, also we have understood one more thing here, that human capital is superior than other resource in the economy. Why? Like we'll take an example of the land and resource. Okay, land as a resource in the economy. Land capital, they itself cannot become useful by their own. Okay, अगर कोई खाली जमीन पड़ी है, क्या वो खाली जमीन एकदम से खुद से ही कुछ अच्छा कर देगी? No. We require human capital to make better use of that land. Okay, therefore we get to know that human capital is superior than any other form of resource that we found in the economy, because humans have brain, they have knowledge, they have skill to transform a resource into a better resource so that everybody can use them into day-to-day life. Okay, now let's see the case of India. Okay, for decades, बहुत टाइम से the population in India was considered as liability. एक burden समझा जाता था कि इतना large population है, how are we gonna feed the large population and utilize them? Okay, therefore this population for a longer period in the past was considered as a liability, as a burden. Okay, but there come a time when we started investing in human capital in the field of education, health, training, skilling, etc. And this liability, this population which was a liability earlier, now has changed into the asset. Because we have large population, we came to know by investing in the population, we can form a better human capital, which will lead to the higher production capacity and will generate higher returns. Therefore, the liability was changed into the asset. Asset is a useful thing. So guys, there are two type of cycle given in your book. One is virtuous cycle and other is vicious cycle. Okay, when I say virtuous cycle, let me first give you an example so that you can very well understand what I am trying to say here. Okay, so let's take an example of a child. Okay, his parents invested in the education, health, skill, training him. Okay, therefore they invested in the human capital, which was the child here. Okay, now after gaining all the education and everything, he has a healthy body because he was made aware of the health education as well, and now he has attained a better job. ठीक है, now after attaining a better job, उसकी income, he has higher income, as well as he is contributing in the society very well to make the society a better place to live in. Okay. So now let's assume that this child, after growing up, now he has his own family now. He has one more child now. Okay, he is a father now. Now he do the same thing what his parents has did to him. He will send his child to the school, invest in him. Okay, he repeat the same and will educate his child. Therefore, now he is aware of the proper nutrition, hygiene, the demand of the child, demand of the hour, what he needs to do to make his child very capable to exist in the society. Okay, and similarly, when his child will grow up, he'll continue the same with his coming generation. Okay, therefore all of this will lead to a virtuous cycle. Virtuous मतलब अच्छा cycle. Okay, it is a cycle which has favorable result. अच्छे आउटकम निकल के आएंगे क्योंकि वो उन्होंने ह्यूमन कैपिटल में इन्वेस्ट किया. ओके, एंड द रिजल्ट ऑफ ईच बीइंग इंक्रीज द बेनिफिशियल इफेक्ट टू द नेक्स्ट कमिंग वन. ओके, हर एक इंसान इतना अच्छा कंट्रीब्यूट करेगा कि नेक्स्ट जो कमिंग जनरेशन आएगी उसको बेनिफिशियल ही रहेगी वो चीज. ओके, देयरफॉर विल डिफाइन दिस एज अ वर्चुअस सर्कल. ओके, let's understand the next type of cycle, which is known as vicious cycle. Okay, so suppose let's take the example once again. This is the child. He was not invested by his parents in the human capital. Therefore, he did not go to school, did not attain education, is not aware about the health and the training, and he did not have the skill. Therefore, he will end up getting no job because he will not survive in the competitive economy. Okay, so he is unemployed. Now let's see, he is not contributing as well as the educated ones were because they were aware of the demand of the time. Okay, whereas he is not that much aware. He is contributed, but the contribution is not that significant. Okay, now let's see. So he has no particular job to do. ओके, ये तो सुना होगा कि खाली दिमाग शैतान का घर है. सो ही विल गेट एंगेज्ड इन डिफरेंट अदर एक्टिविटीज लाइक he'll go for some ill activities which is not good for the society. टाइम पास करने के लिए कहीं कहीं शैतान का घर बन जाते हैं दिमाग, कुछ उल्टे सीधे काम करने शुरू कर देते हैं. ओके, therefore now let's assume this man also got married. Okay, now he has one child. He now think of giving his child what he didn't get. Okay, now he sent his child to the school, but he is not aware of the things he should be doing because he has not gone through the procedure. What is the requirement of a child and what is the demand of the time. Therefore, this will lead to a vicious cycle. Okay, and vicious cycle is one in which we do not have favorable result and the result is not beneficial. Okay, क्योंकि ये खुद अवेयर नहीं था कि इसको क्या करना चाहिए, क्योंकि इसने खुद ने नहीं वो चीज़ें की है तो इसको अवेयरनेस नहीं है इसको अपने चाइल्ड के लिए क्या करना चाहिए. ओके, देयरफॉर अगर ये भी सेम अपनी पेरेंट की तरह ही चलेगा, उसी लाइन पे सोचेगा व्हाट इज़ द नीड टू एजुकेट माई सेल्फ और मुझे क्या करना है पढ़ के, मैं भी ऐसे ही रहता हूँ जैसे मेरे पापा हैं, तो अगर ये भी उस सेम लाइन पे जाएगा तो अगेन ही विल बी द वन जैसे वो पहले थे. उनके पापा जैसे, अगेन ही विल नॉट बी एबल टू कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट अकॉर्डिंग टू द नीड ऑफ द आवर. ओके, सो दिस वॉज इट फॉर द वर्चुअस साइकिल एंड द विशियस साइकिल. वर्चुअस मतलब बेनिफिट लेके आएगा, विशियस मतलब बेनिफिट लेके नहीं आएगा, विल नॉट बी फेवरेबल एट ऑल. Okay guys, now let's understand various activities that is happening in the economy. Okay, and on the basis of these activities we'll divide the economy into three sectors. One is primary or agriculture related sector, second is secondary and the industrial sector, and third is the tertiary and the service sector. Now coming to the primary or the agriculture related sector, in this sector we use natural resources, okay, like land, climate, all of this plays an important role in this sector. Okay, so in this sector हम सिर्फ natural goods को use करेंगे and will provide the raw material. यहाँ से raw material निकल के आएगा which will go into the secondary sector for other manufacturing things. Okay, अब एक छोटा सा example लेती हूँ मैं यहाँ मैंने अपने खेत में उगाई wheat. If I grow wheat here, okay, so after the crop is fully prepared, I'll cultivate and go into the market and sell the wheat in the market. From the market, this secondary sector on the industrial people will come and purchase the wheat, and now this wheat will be changed into biscuit. Okay, those biscuit packet now need to be transferred to the various stores so that people can come and consume. So we need this services sector. Okay, so this is the process how the economy work. Now let me explain in Hindi. Suppose करो मैंने गेहूं उगाई प्राइमरी सेक्टर में, तो यहाँ प्राइमरी सेक्टर में क्योंकि मैं रॉ मटेरियल्स का ही यूज करती हूँ, नेचुरल रिसोर्स का ही यूज करूंगी, तो मैं क्या करूंगी, इस वीट को उगाने के बाद मैं जाके मार्केट में अपने गेहूं को बेच देती हूँ. बेचने के बाद मार्केट से गेहूं खरीद के, जिन लोगों के पास इंडस्ट्री वगैरह है, सपोज उन्होंने वो गेहूं खरीदी और आके उन्होंने यहाँ अपनी फैक्ट्री में उस गेहूं से गेहूं के बिस्किट बनाए, ठीक है ना. तो उस बिस्किट को बेचने के लिए अब उनको ये कुछ चाहिए सर्विसेज वगैरह, जैसे ट्रांसपोर्ट है और हमारी शिपिंग हो गई है और हमारे कम्युनिकेशन चैनल चाहिए ताकि पता चलते रहे उनका स्टॉक कहाँ तक पहुँचा है. देयरफॉर अब आएगा टर्शरी सेक्टर या सर्विस सेक्टर का रोल, ठीक है. यहाँ से ये लोग मेरे बिस्किट के पैकेट को मार्केट के अंदर भेजेंगे सो दैट बिस्किट पैकेट इज अवेलेबल टू द कंज्यूमर और अब वो उसको कंज्यूम कर सकें, ठीक है. तो अब आपको पता चला होगा कि डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स के अंदर डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज होती हैं, एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज वी डिवाइड द इकोनॉमी इनटू थ्री सेक्टर, मेनली प्राइमरी और द एग्रीकल्चर रिलेटेड सेक्टर, second is the secondary or the industrial sector, and third is the tertiary or the service sector. I hope the division of the three sectors are clear to you all. So sectors of economy is divided into three sectors based on the activities. One is primary sector, secondary, and last is the tertiary sector. Primary sector provide raw material, secondary sector change the raw material into the better goods that people consume on day-to-day life, and tertiary sector help in growing both the sector via providing services. Okay, now let's see in depth what all these sectors include. Okay, पहला है प्राइमरी और एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर एंड रिलेटेड सेक्टर भी बोलते हैं इसको हम. इसके अंदर कौन कौन सी एक्टिविटी आती है. प्राइमरी क्योंकि मेन सेक्टर है, रॉ मटेरियल देता है, प्रोवाइड करता है, देयरफॉर हम इसको प्राइमरी सेक्टर बोलते हैं. जैसे हम कभी स्कूल स्टार्ट करा होगा आपने, तो आप सबसे पहले प्राइमरी सेक्शन में गए होगे. ये तो है ना कि सीधा हायर क्लासेस में बिठा दिया आपको. देयरफॉर प्राइमरी मतलब बेस. ओके, तो प्राइमरी को हम एग्रीकल्चर एंड रिलेटेड सेक्टर इसलिए बोलते हैं कि इसके अंदर एग्रीकल्चर एक्टिविटीज के अलावा जो रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज होती हैं लाइक डेयरी, फिशिंग, एनिमल हस्बेंड्री, माइनिंग, फॉरेस्ट्री etc. are also included in this sector. Therefore, all of this provide the raw materials in the economy. Therefore, this sector is known as the primary sector. Second comes the secondary sector or the industrial sector. Secondary मतलब दूसरा पड़ाव. Okay, so secondary के अंदर we transform the raw materials into the better form or the other form which is useful for the consumer. Okay, therefore the raw material is changed into the final good that the consumer will be consuming here. So it includes the manufacturing industries, factories, etc. तो इसको हम बोलेंगे सेकेंडरी और द इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर, क्योंकि जितनी भी इंडस्ट्री रिलेटेड एक्टिविटी है इसके अंदर हो रही है, देयरफॉर इट इज नोन एज द इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर. थर्ड इज द टर्शरी और द सर्विस सेक्टर. टर्शरी सेक्टर इसलिए क्योंकि ये सेक्टर हमें सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करता है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट ये सेक्टर बाकी ऊपर वाले दोनों सेक्टर को हेल्प करता है इन ग्रोइंग. ओके, इसके अंदर इट इंक्लूड्स ट्रेड, कम्युनिकेशन, हेल्थ, टूरिज्म, बैंकिंग एक्सेट्रा. अगर ट्रेड ना हो तो क्या फैक्ट्री से सामान मार्केट तक पहुंचेगा, कंज्यूमर तक? नो. अगर कम्युनिकेशन ना हो, क्या हम घर बैठे पता लगा सकते हैं हमारे सामान कहाँ कहाँ पहुंचा है? देयरफॉर ऑल ऑफ दिस सर्विसेज इंक्लूड द टर्शरी सेक्टर एंड देयरफॉर इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज सर्विस सेक्टर. ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू द रिजल्ट, ऑल ऑफ दिस सेक्टर is indulged in the production of goods and services. Goods are the tangible things जिनको हम छू सकते हैं, यूज करते हैं. Services are the intangible जिनको हम छू नहीं सकते but we can feel it. Okay, so all of this sector are indulged in the production of some of the goods and services which are happening in the economy. Therefore, all these activities are happening in the economy. We call it as economic activity or the market activity. I hope this is clear. Talking of the activities, we get to know that activities are divided into two parts. One is market activity, other is non-market activity. The activities which are done for the purpose of earning income or earning profit is known as market activities, whereas the activities for self consumption, खुद ही कंज्यूम करने के लिए, खुद के लिए ही जो कहोगे, that will be the non-market activities. Okay, now going back into the history, and due to historical and cultural reason, various activities were based on gender. As you all know कि मेल ये काम करेगा, फीमेल ये काम करेगा. It was based on the gender, as male will do some work and female will do the work which is inside the house. Talking about the male in the economy, they used to work outside home. They contribute in the national income. Their income were highly paid, and therefore the income was high and were considered as employed. Where female were considered to remain inside the house and do the inside work of the house, do not contribute in the national income. Their income was not that high. They were not at all paid. High की तो बात ही नहीं है, and were considered as unemployed. So this was it. We will do all of these activities in depth in my next video. Now coming to the questions to tone your brain, you guys need to comment in the comment section. Number one question is 3 sectors of the economy with example. Define human capital. And the third and the last question for today is you need to define in your own words, खुद के शब्दों में ही लिखना है कि what did you understand by the virtuous cycle and the vicious cycle. Okay guys, that's it for today. I am signing off from today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and most importantly comment in the comment section. Also guys, it will mean a lot if you will press the thumbs up icon under my video. Thank you. See you very soon.